And like every time I've done this is like my third or fourth one, and I still like the heart like starts pumping like a lot.
Yeah, I get that when I'm like speaking on stage and stuff.
That's like it. I don't think you ever get over it. I think you just learn to like handle
Yeah,
it. You know what I
you
mean?
manage it. Yeah, yeah.
So what are you
Yeah.
gonna do except to be an adult?
You wonder if Tony Robbins gets that every time he walks out, you know?
Wouldn't that be so weird if like Tony Robbins does like a video and he's like, guys, I still get nervous. Like,
Yeah.
all right, so let's pin this to the top and confirm. And let's see what happens. If anybody's watching, it would be great if it wasn't just me and Paxton, just like lonely staring at each other. Hey, y'all.
I see a one viewer notification on the side.
And that's because that's me.
Oh, that's you. Okay. You're watching me. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. This is super exciting, to be honest. Like, there we go. All right, cool. So stuff is happening. BeLive did some changes to where you can't see people's names in the comments, but I can see them like right here. Like Jack McCarthy is here. Lance M. Madden, which is like the coolest last name ever, is here. Jay Sherman is here, stuff like that. Lance says he's wicked excited. So I guess he's wicked excited from Boston. Like wicked excited.
Way down to way they lay the pressure on.
Yeah, right. Like just so Paxton's like super nervous, you know, stuff like that. This is super exciting stuff. So just so like if anybody watching this is like on the replay, just do like hashtag replay and stuff like that. I'm gonna do a general introduction. My name is Jeff Miller. I run Cool Beans Digital down in Miami, Florida. Paxton is just starting out on his like Facebook ads journey, digital marketing journey, and totally like you skipped a free trial. You didn't have results in your industry. You went to a chamber of commerce meeting, talked to a normal person, like a real human being. And what happened was like 45 minutes later, like a 45-minute lunch, and they wrote you a check or something like that.
They called me to schedule a talk about it, but yeah,
so
pretty quick results.
Yeah, so like you didn't have to do like 55,000 cold emails or cold calls. You just talked to like a normal. Isn't that weird? Like, oh my God, I have to talk to get out of my chair and like exist.
Right. Well, I think it helps to talk in person because then the they realize it's a real person that they could punch or something. It's not some anonymous, because people see these ads, the gym owners especially see these ads all the time. Dentists, they're being harassed. So a real life human being makes a difference.
It's like chiropractors, dentists, and gym anything is like the top 3 gazelle kills for like a marketer, right? But so could you give us like a basic introduction about like your background, how you got on your Facebook ads journey, like the challenges, all that fun stuff? Because I know like you're relatively new and all that thing.
Yeah. So I'm actually been in the software industry as a programmer for about 20 years. And last year I made a iPhone app and I used Facebook ads to get it to number 9 on the App Store.
Nice.
And yeah, that started the journey right there. And after I got it to the top of the App Store, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But the margins are low enough on these apps that it's a numbers game. So what can I do? And then I stumbled into I got the ClickFunnels. I landed in a funnel somewhere, and the rest has just been like immersion in the stuff. And then right around May, June of last year, I got a course on Facebook ads for helping businesses, same one you got. And then I think I started trying to get clients around August, September. And then the hurricane came. I'm in Florida also, up in St. Augustine. Hurricane came and it kind of messed me up. And then I kind of lost my mojo and said, I can't do this. I'm lame. And then backed off. And then a couple months later, I'm like, wait a minute, you don't win by quitting. So I came back with a vengeance. And that's when I discovered you, and some of the stuff you were putting out there was super helpful. And it was an inspiration because I saw, dude, a year ago, Jeff is in the same place. I went back a year just to look at your posts, and you're like, "Hey, I'm doing a curious student or whatever. Help me." And then like
keep scrolling, and you'll see it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then a year later, you're like, mastering it. So I'm like, okay, sweet. I can do this too. So I just dove into it at that point.
So software developer, software background. Like, are you like introverted, more like intensely in depth in your head type thing, right?
Oh yes. Yeah, I'm like a human robot basically, and so this whole concept that I'm talking about, going to chambers and talking to people, is just crazy because I don't like talking to people.
It can't happen. There's no way. Nobody would ever talk to me. I need to put commands into like I was gonna say HTML, but you deal more on like CSS side. No, not even close.
It's everything.
I don't know
everything. Yeah. Just stop while you're ahead.
I took one semester of like graduate level programming, and everyone was like, "Okay, Jeff, you're going to go get pizza, and we'll make sure you pass." Yes.
That's awesome.
So you've got a software developer background. You spent 20 years in the business and the industry. You bought, and just so everybody knows, it's Dan Henry's Facebook Ads for Entrepreneurs, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a legitimate, like that's how I got started and all that. I highly recommend it. And you bought the course, and you just kept getting hit either because, did you do a curious student and like you didn't get any traction with it, right?
Well, I got traction. I had let's see, three or four people that were wanting to do it, and actually it was more like 6 that expressed interest. But only 3 or 4 actually would take the effort. It's like when you give stuff away for free, people don't value it, right? So like 2 or 3 of them were just like wouldn't even respond, or they wouldn't give me the Facebook access, anything like that. But then the ones I did get, because it was free, they thought that they were able to, I mean, they were telling me what to do basically. So
that's like the biggest problem I've always had with like the curious student, and I think it's legitimate, like it works for most people, is that when you get it for free, nobody gives a shit, number one.
Right.
Number 2, they think you're smarter than you. And number 3, it's like going to a restaurant that's like free food and the waitress comes up and says, "Would you like to pay?" And you're like, "But I thought it was free," right?
Yes.
So that's always like a big challenge. So you did the curious student and you didn't get any like paying clients out of it, right?
No, not a single one. Yeah. In fact, I barely got results for people.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I got results for one guy, but then everyone else, like they were just like they were making it difficult. Right? Yeah. They would listen. They wouldn't do like, I'm like, "Hey, let's do customer research," and they're like, "No customer research, no thank you."
I know how to do that. Yeah, I've done it. Yeah. So and then you kept like getting hit time and time again. Like your curious student wasn't getting like paying clients. You weren't like blowing everybody out of the water with Facebook ads, and you clearly weren't seeing like what you're used to seeing. Like when you do like when you launch that app, you're seeing the charts and the numbers move up and up and up. So it's like, you're amazing. Look at all this stuff, right? And then you try Facebook ads, like, right? Just like
there's no, and when you're doing curious student, there's no money. So you're just thinking, how am I going to transition from this to making money, and when's that going to happen, and when do I have enough testimonials, right? Because I'm just trying to get a testimonial out of the people at first, right? And but then I'm not getting the results, and I'm like, crap, I'm wasting my time here because I'm not getting the results. I'm just going to delay the process.
Yep, I understand that feeling. So after a while, you were like, you know what? Screw this. There's a hurricane. I can't do it. Whatever. And you essentially took like a 6-month break kind of.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then when did you say, screw it, I'm just going to go meet real life people who want Facebook ads?
It was probably after I joined your inner circle group, and you were talking about having, or maybe you posted your thing about, the chamber stuff you did, and yep. I'm like, well, that's a great idea. So then, yeah, you don't have to join the chamber to go to the events. I didn't know that, so I joined the chamber, there's other benefits to doing that. But
what was it, like $50 or something like that?
It's like $300 or $400. Yeah. I mean, that's on the low end. You can go crazy with it.
Yeah, but you gladly pay $300 to make $3,000, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. So then, I joined the chamber and just started going I went to like the chamber. They have a chamber 101 here in St. Augustine, and it's like, here's how it works. Here's the people that you need to know about, and then I just started going to these like power hour networking type of things. Yeah,
and so how many events did you go to until you found that first potential client or customer? Or did you end up meeting a lot of potential client customers and only one turned into like the gym guy, the guy that signed 2,900?
Yeah, so I went to my first one I went to was a lunchtime thing, and I did long table, so you can't even talk to people because you're, like buffet style table or whatever. And so I just had like 4 people around me that I was chatting with, and the gym owner that I signed, he was instantly interested, and I think I mentioned the 30 customer opportunity guarantee, and that is like, people perk up when you say that. And
he was asking that guarantees his work like everybody else does, right?
Right. So he starts asking some questions, and I gave him some solid answers, and then that was pretty much the most engagement I got of any of the people there. And then I went home, and I mean, I'm not kidding, it was like probably an hour and a half after I got home, the phone rang, and it was the dude, and he's like, "Hey, I want to talk." And I'm like, "Great, here's my Acuity link. Go schedule yourself." Yeah. And then that was like a Tuesday, and then on Friday, I went down to I actually went in person to his, because I don't have a facility. I've worked from home so long. Yeah. So I just went to his gym and sat down with the guy and went through it. And of course, after the we did like an hour-long thing, and then at the end he was like, "Okay, I really got to sit and think about this because I don't know if there's going to be a good enough ROI on this." And I'm like, "All right, man," and I walked away feeling all bummed. And then it was like Tuesday of the next week, he calls. He's like, "Let's do it."
So it was literally a 7-day turnaround from when you met a total stranger.
Total stranger.
And paid you $2,900, right?
Yes.
So let's go back to that when you first met him. Like, what were you saying and how were you saying it to where like you weren't getting caught up in the details? And I bring that up because like we learned Facebook ads and split testing is ungodly and carousel ads are super fun and you need to do videos and blah, blah, blah. Like, how did you avoid talking about the details? How did you sit with the big picture? How did you keep that conversation moving forward? What was that like?
You mean at the chamber event or just in our session?
The first time you met him at that long table.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, it was mostly just casual conversation, and he was just saying, I just said, I get I get customers for clients. I guarantee 30 a month, and then he asked a few questions about like, what do you think about like Facebook's targeting or whatever, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like when you're in a it's geographically based. You're not targeting people because you only have so many square mile radius that you can hit. And so, and this guy actually has a background in marketing. So he was, I guess that my answers were, I mean, it was pretty high level stuff. It wasn't like, he didn't ask any of that stuff. I just mentioned 30 customer opportunity guarantee. And that's really the bulk of it. I mean, it wasn't any in-depth. There was no challenge of my knowledge or authority. None of that. He just was interested and wanted to hear more. And I told him, on the phone when he called me an hour later, I said, well, I do a 60-minute strategy call where I will explain everything I do. And at the end of that, I'll ask you if you want my help, you can sign up and do it with me, or you can, you'll have at least enough information that if you were crazy enough, you could go do this by yourself. Yeah. And he's like, all right, cool. Let's just do the talk.
So so I guess like everyone's biggest fear is that they're going to be challenged as the Facebook ads expert. And you're like, no big deal. Like they ask one or two like stupid, easy bullshit questions and you have to say, look, it doesn't matter or it's stupid easy anyway. And all of a sudden it's like you're qualified, right? And it's not like you had results in a gym space beforehand, right?
I did have a little bit with a CrossFit guy that I was doing a free trial with, but not enough to like blow anyone's socks off.
Yeah, it's not like you had testimonial videos or like, look at my website, I'm amazing, or holding the phone up. Right. What was like the results from your free trial with your CrossFit?
It was, so I'm still helping the guy out because we're become friends. And so the first time I got him several clients. I mean, it wasn't anything to blow you away, right? I think CrossFit's a little harder than others because it's, the people that do CrossFit are crazy, right? And so people are a little nervous about it. But so I don't have any numbers for you, but it was enough that he wanted to keep going. Yeah. And here we are, like it's been almost 3 or 4 months, and I'm still helping the guy out. He's having trouble getting people in right now, and I'm having trouble nailing it with the funnels. Yeah. And we're doing the research. It's not hitting right now. But we've got a gym down the street that's doing the Alex Hermosi gym launch stuff, and they are slaying it, man. They're like just
that's
running.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we're kind of like poking at that a little bit to see if we can.
But the 2,900 45-minute conversation, did he go, but have you done results for a business like mine before?
No, he never asked that question.
Never asked that question, right? Mm-hmm. So the biggest reason why an upcoming agency owner that wants to grow, the biggest reason why they are scared is that somebody will challenge them on their not really Facebook ads expert, and it almost never comes up, and the questions are stupid easy. Yep. The second reason why they're afraid of growing their business or scaling it is because they don't have results in the industry. And guess what? Nobody cares. Like it never comes up, right? It's just
you're given a guarantee. Who cares? Like, I mean, when you explain it, look, if I can get you 30 customers, which I'm guaranteeing, right? You just told me in our conversation that you can close 10, 20, whatever percentage of the customers, right? So we did the math. Like, it's going to come out in your favor. If it doesn't come out in your favor, you just don't renew. Like, there's no commitment, right? It's worth a shot because the upside would be so awesome.
So that's how you went from, you skipped the free trial with your gym guy.
Yep.
He paid you up front, right?
Yes.
You didn't have results in that industry.
Correct.
And it's all because you met him like a real life human being. Like, if you cold called him do you think he would have paid you $3,000?
Oh, hell no, no. I wouldn't even have gotten the time of day. I've cold called a couple people, and it's like, yeah, you gotta like, write us a letter in blood or whatever. And you're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I like that. You have to write a letter.
Yeah, I guess not happening. Yeah, so that was the first guy I got at a chamber event, and I just the check. They actually mailed me a check, which is awesome for avoiding credit card fees. But my second client through chamber connections, they it was Tuesday, Monday. They said that they would sign, and this is I went to a chamber event 3 weeks ago, and maybe it was 4 weeks ago. It's been a while, right? And so I went to this chamber event, and I was just socializing with people, and this woman was there, and she was super interested. She runs a vacation, was it like a vacation rental? Because I'm in St. Augustine, we have a lot of beach rentals, right? So it's people that own these beach condos, so they rent them out. It's the company that manages the rentals. Okay. So the way they make their money is they get like 15% of the rentals or something off the top.
Yeah.
And they're located in the actual building, the complex, and so they're trying to drum up business for the rentals because they have some sitting vacant. So talked to her at the chamber event. She seemed pretty interested, and then same thing. It was the next day. I got an email or a phone call, I can't remember, but she was like, "Hey, I want to talk." I'm like, "Sweet, here's my Acuity link. Let's go." They booked it. I went down there to their location again because I figure like the in-person is going to be better. And there's like 4 or 5 women that run the joint, and they all came into the meeting. So it's me and 5 ladies. Luckily for me, my wife was with me because we were going to go to lunch afterwards. So my wife just sat in the corner quietly and worked on her computer. And the fact that my wife was there, I think, helped a lot because these are like 5 older women, and they just really connected with, like, oh, we're a family, we have kids, and like that helped, right? But when I got there at this thing, same thing. I just went through the onboarding process, through the questions that you use. I pretty much take them verbatim, run through the questions, and by the end, of course, they're feeling like they're idiots because they don't understand like their business enough, right? And then by the end, they're like, oh, this is awesome, we need to do this. How much does it cost? And then you tell them, and they're like, oh gosh. And I'm like, well, but look at here's the math we did. And they're like, oh yeah, you're right. So that was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And they're like, yeah, so this lady here is the decision maker. She's going on a cruise for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then like 2 weeks went by. I emailed them. They're like, I went 3 weeks went by before I remembered. I'm like, oh crap, I didn't follow up with them. And I followed up. And then like 2 days later, like, yeah, we went in. So that was this week. Yeah.
Beautiful. Like, think about it. Like, how many cold emails and cold phone calls did you have to do to get 2 clients paying you 6 G's in total? Yeah. Or you go meet them like a normal fucking human being.
Yep.
Like how people used to and continue to do business. I don't know why we think money comes from the same screen we exist in. Like, just go and meet like a normal person, right?
Right.
So if you guys, if anybody's watching this, really liking this, really appreciate this Paxton is sharing, like the information, the knowledge, know how to like grow your agency and scale it. Leave a comment, ask a question, get some action going, because Paxton is going to start taking questions about 15, 20 minutes or so after we go over like 2 or 3 more bullet points. And if you get your questions in now, we're going to make sure to go over them because these conversations always like run over, and I always cut them short because like we need to keep this stuff compact and useful. So is there like so you met the second $2,900 a month customer at a Chamber of Commerce, and you use the onboarding documents to nail that conversation, right? Because you never really know what their problems are, what their goals are until you ask them.
Right.
And if you don't have those onboarding documents, you're kind of like a doctor trying to sell shoulder surgery to somebody who hasn't said that they need shoulder surgery. So like, was there like anything like magically unveiling that all of a sudden you went, I had no idea that was a thing? That's a big selling point that came from those onboarding documents, whether it was like your gym client or your rental client. Was there any like question you're like, oh my God, these people don't know how many leads you're generating. Oh my God, they don't know how much your customers are worth. Oh my God, they don't know their conversion rate, things like that.
It's most of those. I mean, almost every single question.
They have no idea.
They're like, I don't know anything, right? But the only, I think it's just every question I ask about the marketing. I mean, a couple of them know, like the guy at the gym, he has a background in marketing, so he knew more than most, okay, but he still did. He was embarrassed. He's like, I don't know a lot of these, and he's like, I'm from marketing background. I specialize in customer research, and I don't know these answers. And so that was awesome. But with the ladies, they just didn't know, and they, well, we're guessing here, and they just didn't know.
So
So there were, what's that?
The gym guy who had a background in marketing, who specialized in customer research, he didn't know answers to his basic marketing questions. And did he like show like, here's the customer research, or he was just kind of like relying on hearing it?
Oh, he didn't do customer research because it was a franchise gym, so he was just kind of like they get stuff from on high at corporate, right? And they kind of just go with that.
That's so funny. Like all of a sudden you became the Facebook ads expert really darn fast. I think what's really, really cool, by the way, is when somebody said that they're interested, you said, great, here's my link. Like the mistake that we make time and time again is like, great, let me tell you everything and like give me money. And it's like, no, you gotta craft that narrative and have that conversation when somebody says, yeah, I'm interested. Your follow-up should be, great, when should we meet? And the modern day version of that is like, here, let me send you a link. Are you doing like expert secret stuff, like when they fill out the form, you ask them like the top 3 things that they want to learn, or we didn't even get to that yet?
No, I don't. Yeah, they fill out the link, and then I ask those questions live in person.
Yeah, that's fucking beautiful. We've got a couple questions on all this fun stuff, guys. Keep them rolling in, because at like 11:25 on the dot, we're gonna start going through the questions. So now is a good time to drop them in. But like, let's look back at like the first 6 months of your Facebook ads journey, right? Like, how many clients did you get in the first 6 months pre getting Jeff Miller? Like, I don't know the right phrase, you know what I mean? Like, how many clients did you get in this first 6 months of your Facebook ads digital marketing journey?
Paying or
paying. Like real money.
Zero,
right?
Yeah.
And with like 3 quick, stupid, simple fixes, you went from $0 to $6,000 really darn fast, right?
Yeah, almost every single chamber event I've gone to, I've met someone that was at least almost converted, right? So 2 of them came from events, and then a third one, I actually went to a chamber event on Wednesday night, and I was hoping to cram some more results in here, but I only met one guy that was interested, and he was pressing me on like, how much does it cost? And I'm like, I'd rather have the conversation. I tried to move it offline, and he's like, dude, just tell me how much it costs, man. And I'm like, I told him, I'm like, yeah, it's $2,900 to start. And he's like, what? And then he starts like totally like roasting me, and he's like, there's no way. And I'm like, well, I guarantee 30 customers. He's like, huh? He's like, well, there's no way it's worth that. I'm like, well, I also do this. He's like, well, what about this? And I'm going to tell him some more stuff, and he's like, dude, here's my card. We got to talk. So
wait, hold on. Wait, this guy that said it's not worth it, tell me how much it is, I can't believe it, said, here's my card, let's talk?
Yep. Yep. So I've emailed him, but he hasn't responded yet. So I don't know if it's a dead lead, but he was like genuinely interested. He's like, man, God, if I just got 3, that would pay for it. And he's like, it sounds great, but he's like, I don't know, man. It's like, it's a lot of scratch. And I'm like, yeah, it's, let's talk.
The guy that acts like that use the word scratch. Like, it sounds like he would say that. So it's absolutely mind blowing, I think, for everybody watching this, and especially for me, like looking back like 18 months now. Like, I still remember the feelings of like doing my Curious Student. By the way, that was my second Curious Student. The first one I deleted. Like, I know the fucking feeling of sitting behind your screen trying to reach out to the universe and not feeling anything back, and it kills. Like, it literally kills your career. But you never got that once when you went in person, right? People were
not once
having conversation, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's super cool. I didn't know you could do Facebook ads. What about this? Blah, blah, blah. And so I genuinely believe like the next big chunk of growth when it comes to like agency and scaling agency is meeting people in person.
It helps.
And it's like, you can literally like Paxton, I'm talking to you, you could go to 25,000 a month just by doing what you've already done. Like, you have already gotten $6,000 for clients. You could get $9,000 for clients. Just go once a week. Every time you fucking do it, you get somebody wanting to pay you $3,000.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Oh my God. Like, absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I just have to suffer through the uncomfortableness of the whole. I mean, because I am an introvert and I don't like talking to people. Every time I go, I'm like, and I just feel awkward walking up to like. There's like 3 people standing there, and you walk up, you're like, hey, I'm so and so, and I had a T-shirt made with my logo on it, and then so people are like, oh, what's that? And then I tell them, like, oh, what do you do? I do Facebook ads, and then they always want to talk, always.
Every time.
Yeah, then they might be like, now is this Cambridge Analytica stuff really hurting your business? And I'm like, no, man, it's not hurting my business. Like, it's it's not a big deal.
Yeah, like the weirdest part. So that's like super interesting, like Cambridge Analytica and like Congress and Mark Zuckerberg. Like, almost nobody gives a shit except for us. Like, the guy that brought up Cambridge Analytica, he's like, I saw it in the headline, and I'm trying to make a real connection with Paxton. So what the fuck do I know? I know that's a thing, right? And it's not like he was giving you mad shit for it. It was just like,
oh no,
is this
hurting your business? That's all he asked.
Yeah. And you're like, no, because I only have 2 clients, but whatever. Like, don't bring that part up, right?
Back to like, feeling like your confidence about talking. Are you an expert or whatever? I mean, most people think that running a Facebook ad is boosting a post, right? Like they don't even know that there's something called a sponsored post or sponsored ad or whatever, and you can like the targeting. Anytime I talk about targeting, people are like, "What? You can do that?" And they're like totally freaked out by it. So, I mean, with even like if you just got into this and you've only been like studying this stuff for a month, you already know more than 90% of the population.
Yep. And there's honestly like the advantage you get by continuing to study Facebook ads and like mastering all the dials and dashboards, like it becomes diminishing returns really fast. Like you just have to figure out 2 or 3 really good books, take 1 or 2 courses, get somewhat better at Facebook ads than they are, and then start doing onboarding docs. Find those problems, find the solutions, find their goals. I'll bet that rental company had no idea that they were generating near 0 leads.
They didn't.
Say what?
They claim like, oh yeah, we were getting like so many a month or whatever, and like,
oh no, Paxton died. Not again.
Damn it. Nah, I'm all right. Hang on.
Okay, it was you. It wasn't me. Oh my god. Okay, because I'm
back.
Yeah, you're back. Like the first
good. I was about to open up Facebook so I could chat with you.
Yeah, all that's so funny. Okay, all right. So, the ladies and like how many leads were they generating? All that stuff.
I don't remember their numbers. I have it written down on the onboarding, but it wasn't a ton. I mean, they probably exaggerated a little bit just because they were starting to feel embarrassed, Yeah.
It blows my mind that like the vast majority of small business owners, like the value that honestly, like the reason why they're paying you and the value they see is because you're asking those questions. It is because you are providing guidance and support and like directing them to their goal. Like I'll bet the conversation that those 4 or 5 ladies were having was like, I can't believe we don't know the answer to those questions. And then they start looking up and they go like, oh my God, it's worse. Like I just made up a number. It's actually horrible. And the cool part is once you get that client, and let's say you generate 30 customer opportunities, 40 customer opportunities, as it turns out, they have other problems to solve. Like, what's your referral rate? Let's build a referral program. Are you doing customer research, which I told you like to include in your 2,900 fee?
Yep, it's there.
It's like all this stuff that like I had no idea that you could do that. Right. And what I've learned is that like if you really, really, really want to keep a client long term, you find more stuff to sell. Like you're in the tribe of Russell Brunson, right? So you're paying him, right? And then you're going, I wonder what else I could buy for him. Fucking comes up every time in my life, right? Like every day I'm going, what else can I buy? And I paid $300 for a box. Like it's literally right in a hat. Like, come on, right?
So luckily I got to miss that webinar yesterday, or otherwise I probably would have bought something.
Exactly, right? But that's how people move towards their journey. You go like, great, I'm gonna get you 30 customer opportunities a month. Great, we're gonna develop an ROI campaign. Great, we're gonna do customer research. And the dollars that they spend with you will move up and up over time. And I'm super psyched that you found an easy as snot, stupid easy way of getting clients. Like, how is it so easy? I don't know. You just meet people in person.
Yeah.
And I kind of like take that attitude sometimes. I shouldn't, but it's like, go be an adult. Go be a normal human being, interact with the real world, and people will pay you money.
Well, you kept saying that it's like once you're on the other side of it, it seems like it's so easy or whatever. And I was on the not getting a client side, and I'm like, he's right. I can see where like once I'm there, I'll look back and say it was easy. And then after I got there, I'm like, yeah, it was easy. And you're right. All I had to do was just go to an event, put a beer in my hand, walk up to some dude, shake his hand, whatever, and talk. Like that's it. And I didn't even have to like sell anybody. I just said, I do Facebook ads, right? And they're like, oh, you do Facebook ads? Yeah. And then they usually give everybody a chance. If it's a lunch, you get to stand up and say something about yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Paxton. I do Facebook ads. I guarantee 30 customer opportunities a month. Whatever. And that's it. And then that's all I did. And then the guy's like, okay, let's talk. Yeah. And just like I said on Wednesday, I went and the guy starts roasting me over my price or whatever. But I'm like, yeah, I do this. Oh, I do this. Oh, and it's like you just list what you do. That's it. It's not like any rocket science. You don't have to, do anything special.
It's weird. Like, no joke. When you're on the other side, you go, why was I doing it wrong this whole fucking time? Like,
yeah.
You have an option of either getting paid upfront for Facebook ads or doing a curious student and being taught and being like fighting with your clients and them not having you give stuff, and then there's no way you'd make money with it, and hopefully leverage a case study, or just get paid first, like, and then they like you. Like all of a sudden, they pay you money and they really, really like you. I don't understand.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's like absolutely nuts. So we're gonna start taking questions if that's cool. Let me bring it up.
Oh yeah.
Because Be Live has like changes, so I don't know people's names. But yeah, so it's like it's super cool because I remember when we first started talking, I was like, man, you have no idea, and you're like, fuck it, let's just do it. And sure as shit, now you're going, hey everybody, you have no idea. Like,
oh yeah.
It's
and I'm scheduled to do I'm going to do a talk with the chamber, and so that's coming up. And you know, I mean that's not till August because they in St. Augustine, like they're not begging for speakers here; they're actually in abundance. So I had to wait a while, but you know, I'm doing that. I'm speaking to like I found some business group on Meetup, and I've been going to those and getting calls out of those. So yeah, it's just you just want to keep getting more and more of this stuff.
Dude, you're gonna make $1 million fucking.
That would be nice.
That would be nice, right? All right, cool. So let's see how Be Live works now. So we have a comment from a random stranger. I know it's Gabriel Ramos, but it doesn't show up here anymore. What's the list of things you do for the $2,900? So not going into the proposal, which is like part of like the inner circle, but like off the top of my head, you've got the Facebook ads targeting, right? You've got A/B testing, split testing. You've got customer research that uncovers quant spheres and goals. You've got automatic soap opera sequences. Paxton, are you doing like the sneaky survey and welcome text or not yet?
I'm doing sneaky survey and I'm doing call recording.
All right, perfect. So like call tracking, call recording, that's in there as well. And a big mistake that people make is they forget that provide like strategy and support. So like if the guy is paying you $3,000 a month and he calls you, you're probably going to pick it up, right?
Yeah. And I did enumerate that as well.
Right. And then they go, oh my God, I can talk to a Facebook ads person? Yeah, that's me. But what happens is we're so used to saying, yeah, I'll talk to you, that we forget to put it in our proposal. So I literally have like 6 lines of strategy and support. Like we meet once every 2 weeks to go over like lead sales ROI. You get an automatic updating customer database. So you know what actions to take. 24/7 email strategy, email, text, phone support, right?
Yep.
Like all that dedicated account rep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not kidding. People go like, oh my God, you did? I go, yeah, because you're a normal person. So that's like a short list, but that's kind of like, by the way, let me ask you, when you went over that proposal, was there like a sticking point? There's always a sticking point for me. Like everybody goes, oh, I didn't know you do that. Did you have that with like your rental gals or your gym guy or anything like that? Or they're just blown out of the water about the customer opportunity guarantee?
Most of them are just blown out of the water. And the only sticking point I've had with any of them has been the price, just because they need to do math to figure out if it's going to make sense for them.
Yeah. But honestly, like $2,900 a month, that's fair. Like they have to like afford it. It's not like an easy yes. But when they go in the back and they have a discussion, it's like, I think it might be worth the $2,900 a month. And that's the conversation you want to have, because the $2,900 is Paxton. So you want to say like, I think it's worth to hire Paxton for $2,900 a month. And they just like, when you charge $1,000 or $1,500, it's more like throwaway money. You know what I mean? It's not like allocated correctly in mental space.
Yeah.
Somebody says, how much of the dollars is put towards the promotional ads of $2,900? I'll take this one. I found that if you do your Facebook ads correctly, Facebook ads are just one of the 7 parts of a Facebook ads campaign. Like you can't just do Facebook ads and throw it to a shitty landing page. You can't just take a shitty landing page and not have a follow-up sequence. You can't have a follow-up sequence and not do text message like sneaky surveys and welcome text. You can't do that and not have an automatic updating customer database. So like all the 7 things make up the $2,900 a month program. But my Facebook ads, like I've fulfilled $3,000 a month orders with like $400 worth of Facebook ads. And the guy's jumping up and down because all the leads convert, because I'm not doing anything free on my Facebook ads. And so what I found is like when you do all those other 7 steps correctly, all of a sudden you're getting like well beyond a $3,000 ROI with only $300, $400, $500 worth of ad spend. So stuff like that. Let's see. I get customers and clients for local businesses. Can't remember what you said. Oh, wait, hold on. It's this question. Here you go, Paxton. Do you introduce yourself as a lead gen guy or a Facebook ads guy?
I usually start with Facebook, because if you say lead gen, I think it's okay, cool, whatever. But when you say Facebook, everyone's like, oh, cool. And they want to talk about, especially if it's in the news. I mean, it's like, and then what I'll tell them is after they start talking to me and show interest, then I switch it up and say, look, realistically, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of controversy right now. My entire thing, I think this is what you say, Jeff, and I kind of stole it, which is like, I have a vehicle. It's an automation to get clients for you. And the gasoline for the vehicle is Facebook. And then if Facebook were to disappear tomorrow, I'd find a different gas to put in the car.
So what I've learned is that if you're like on a first date with a person, you say Facebook ads. It starts a conversation. Yep. It works really well. Everybody's having a conversation about Facebook and Facebook. They have an opinion. That's awesome, right? That doesn't happen with like the lead gen conversation going like, oh, what the fuck? Facebook ads. Holy shit, that's cool. On the second date, I go, look, I want to let you know that I lied to you. I don't do Facebook ads. I build a car and a vehicle that gets you direct to measure results and return on investment on your marketing dollars. It just so happens that Facebook ads is the best gas for that car. And then they go, oh. And so they're super psyched about it. Another question says, could you apply the same method to door-to-door selling, or is it colder than going Chamber of Commerce? Hell fucking yeah, it's colder. Like, do not bug the shit out of me while I'm working. Like, I have like clients and customers and patients and like cars to work on and jobs to go to. And in the middle of me making money, you're going to bug the shit out of me to me give you money. Do not do that. Like,
people go to the chamber events with the intention of networking, right? They're there for that. Everyone has business cards. They're handing them to you. It's like this culture of like, here's my card, and everyone wants to talk to you. Get a beer in your hand. It's casual. It's non-threatening. You're not interrupting their workday. It's great.
Perfect. I'll take this one. So what do you do if you don't meet the guarantee? It's only happened like once or twice in my entire Facebook ads career to where I've not gotten 30 customer opportunities in 30 days, right? That's what we talk about. So what happens is if Jeff doesn't get you 30 customer opportunities in 30 days, he pays your Facebook ads bill for you. And everybody goes, oh, that's great. I get the next month free. I go, hell fucking yeah, you do. But guess what? Jeff charges so much and his margins are so big because he knows what he's doing and has all the other stuff running to where like I can afford to take a $300 a month hit to fill the 30. And then all of a sudden they pay $3,000 for the next month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks. The longest I've ever seen for a 30 customer opportunity guarantee was 6.5 weeks. Who gives a shit, right? Like that's still equivalent of like a $2,500 a month Facebook ads contract. So I put these comments into the bucket of not today, Satan's, things your brain tells you when it doesn't want you to make money, things your brain does to fuck you up for the day. Like, what if it doesn't work? And you're like, yeah, it may not happen. It may happen. It may not happen. You should still move forward.
Yeah, don't worry about that yet. It's like saying, if I get that Ferrari and what if someone scratches it? Who gives a shit? You don't have a Ferrari yet.
Right. I love that. That's fucking beautiful. Like, I'm going to go back and take that. Like, that is a great fucking question. Like, you don't have a fucking Ferrari yet, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That is absolutely super awesome. Let's see what else. What does your business card say as the title of your position? Do you have a business card? Does it matter? Things like that.
I don't remember. I have a business card and I put a title on it, and I think it has something to do with Facebook's. I don't even care because the people I hand the business card to, I met in person and I've chatted with them, right? The ones that I just like, if I just shove it in someone's face and they take it and they don't make a conversation, it's waste. It's gone, right? Yeah. But if I sit there and talk to them, then they'll say, "Can I have your card?" That's when that works. They don't give a shit what's on the card. They just know that it's you.
I think that when people have that conversation, sorry, whoever wrote this, I may like tear the shit out of you. When people have a conversation about what it says on their business card, it hints that they are more concerned about how they view themselves than the service they are providing to their clients and their customers. Your clients or customers don't give a shit what your title is or what it says on your business card. Just like I don't care what your business card says. I care about the value you're providing me. They don't care about what my business cards, they care about the value they're providing them. And if you're following what Paxton says, which is have a fucking conversation first, and then business cards second, then all of a sudden everybody's happy.
And I did worry about it though when I first made the cards. I was like, oh, what do I put on there? Oh gosh! And then I just picked some. I'm like, you know what? I don't have time. I've got it. It was like the day of, and I bought like the printouts on your home printer, and I'm like, just whatever, fuck it, go, and then put it on there, and then just printed it up.
Beautiful. Another comment says, do you fulfill all the services yourself, or do you outsource?
So far, it's all been myself, but Danny is your chief storyteller, and I've been thinking about using him.
So he just did another soap opera sequence for me, blew me out of the water. Honestly, I tried to do it myself and I suck. Like I'm bad at it. Like I can have a conversation, but I can't translate into words that make you confirm and convert and want to read. And I was like, and he just, fine, I'm going to pay you a lot of money and then you do it. And he's like, done. And within like 72 hours, it was beautiful. I don't know how.
Yeah, and it's worth it to it's like a learning experience. If you watch, a person that knows what they're doing do something, you can learn from that. It's worth the cost right there.
We got another question says, what business meetups did you say you went to, Paxton?
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. It's like some local thing here. It's just I went to Meetup, looked in the business category, and just looked for ones that had people going to it. Like, 'cause some of them are like one person's going, some were like 17. I'm like, okay, 17 people are going. I got better odds at that one. Where's it at? Is it the time I can go to it? And like, I just picked the one that had the most people, and it was at a lunchtime where I could swing out and go hit it up.
And nobody was like, "Who are you? Why are you here? I hate you so much." It was just like normal people, right?
No, and I got a phone call from a dude that day from that, but he was like more of like a Tony Robbins type of speaker on stage, and
Okay.
I figured his personality was going to be way too much to handle, and I just passed on it. But I am speaking with those. Like, I arranged with the guy that has that meetup, and I'm going to be speaking at one of his meetups in June.
All right, guys, look, as a side note, like, go back on this video series and look at Andrew Page's. Like, he went from 0 to public speaking in like 30 fucking days. Paxton, when you do your public speaking thing, you are going to get table fucking rushed. Like, there are going to be 20 people saying, "Paxton, can I pay you a lot of money today?" And then you're going to be in position to pick your clients, which is kind of what you want, right? Like, you want to go through these onboarding documents and find a client that says, "Paxton, I love you. I want to pay you a lot of money. Do whatever you want. Solve my problems." Perfect relationship, right? What would be interesting though is like if 6 months ago that Tony Robbins guy called you, you almost would have had to take it, right?
Oh yeah, and I was debating. I was like sweating over it. I'm like, it's a lot of money. The guy's willing to pay me, but then I just knew this guy's personality was going to overrun me. And he was like already dropping. He's like, "Yeah, I have Infusionsoft and I have this and that." I'm like, "Oh shit! Like, this is no. It's not gonna. It's too difficult with this guy. No." And he wanted me to like guarantee like all these people to his seminars where he's talking about real estate investing. I'm like, no.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
No.
Here's an expert secret. When you manage to actually do the speaking thing, use the slides or part of the inner circle. You're going to have your 3 expert secrets. Beautiful. Everybody's using them. They get table rushed after. And it provides enough value without going into detail to where like people won't do it their own. They go like, "Oh, I had that problem. Can you help me solve it?" And get yourself recorded. Like, whatever way you figure it out, whether it's like an iPhone or like a camera, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. Record that son of a bitch. I should stop cursing. Facebook is going to take down my group if I keep doing it. So like, record it, because you will find magically all of a sudden you are a kind of Tony Robbins. You are a kind of Russell Brunson, not to you, but to the people that follow you.
Right.
And then you can even resell it, which is like a whole other thing, but don't worry about that. Right. We're kind of coming to the close here. If there's any like last comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas, now's the time. There's a bunch of questions in here. We can't get to all of them. But it was always like an on-air special. So if you genuinely believe that Paxton represents where you want to be with your Facebook ads process or scaling your agency, if you have the same problems that Paxton used to have 6 months ago with like trying to send cold emails and free trials and curious students and not getting paid, if you want Paxton to have to show you, to talk to you and have a strategy session with you today, as always, with all the speakers, he's taking 3 15-minute slots. You just have to reply or comment below saying, "Paxton, I want it." And the first 3 people to say, "Paxton, I want it," you'll be announced on air, and I will introduce you to Paxton. Paxton will guide you through his journey and how he figured out how to do the meetups correctly, figured out how to present himself correctly, how to have a Chamber of Commerce conversation without getting into details. So if you guys just type in "Paxton, I want it," he's taking 3 15-minute phone calls either today or on Monday, Tuesday, something like that, depending upon the details. And so because Be Live is like lagging, all of a sudden, like, it's all coming in. Oh my God. So we've got Denise, Lorraine, we got Slawek, and we got Yamil Kosawan, something like that. So those are the 3 types of people. I will send a message to all 3 pairs of you. And you guys will figure out a time that just works.
Cool.
I think it was like super awesome, like guiding you on your journey from 0 to 6 grand, maybe 9 grand. And like in August, you may be doing like $15,000 and $25,000. Honestly, like all you need is just one awesome customer, and they will refer you all the business in the world. It's a repeatable process. You have confidence. Like, could you possibly imagine doing this interview 6 months ago?
Nope, right? No way.
So I'm super psyched for you and your journey. I'm gonna send a message to, dude. Like, you are an amazing student. To be totally honest, like, you're like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm just gonna do what Jeff says. And you got rewarded by the marketplace by matching what you're doing to the value that they want. Meeting people in person is key. Finding a way to turn that interest into dollars is key. Finding a way to solve their problems, alleviate their pain, move them towards a goal. Those onboarding docs are killer. I think you're on an awesome journey. That's it for everybody. Paxton, if there's like a last comment, question, concern, or expert secret, now's the time. You have the last sentence. What are you thinking about telling the crew?
Just back to what we keep harping on here is don't worry about if you're an expert or not, right? I had, like I mentioned earlier in the call, I have 20 years experience in the computer industry. I've done a lot of stage speaking and teaching classes in that time, and you get jokers in every class in the computer industry that are like, what if this, what if that, right? And all you have to say if you get a question you don't like or understand is, you know what, let me get back to you. This isn't the appropriate time to answer that. It's that simple to defer.
Beautiful. All right, so this replay will go in the group. Paxton, thanks so much. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.